Greetings, this is Warrior King, and the time has come for the lions and the lioness to tell their own story. This is the lion's voice. Give thanks and praise for the wonderful blessing that's been poured on me. Give thanks and praise. Jah use I as an instrument to set the people free. Jah give her the powers to chant. Jah give her the powers to chant. Ras Tafari, the lion's voice. Bigger.
I'm Nana Farika. The time has come for the lioness to tell her story from her viewpoint and tell the world who Queen Omega is. This is the lion's voice.
My Rastafari family, what are we doing for education? Because yes, Pan-African education is necessary, is powerful, and there should always be a Rastafari presence in these Pan-African spaces. However, each, specific, school of thought should also have schools of their own. For example, Igbo Israelite have them school, Kemet, people have them school, if it's Yoruba or it's, whatever. I see value in, these diverse Pan-African thought groups, it could be a Khan, it could be whatever, the delineation that's teaching the history on a deep level. We need institutions that also do this as educational institution, because that leads to a deeper fabric, a mosaic of education across the continent that's only going to benefit us because we preserve these traditions. People get to study them. The traditions get to evolve through study, and people putting forward different papers and schools of thought. This is what some of the value that educational institutions provide, and we need that within our community. He said, once you're homeschooling and your youth not interacting with other youths or peers, that's no longer Pan-African education, because African is by definition communal. Heavy stuff. So number one is the establishment of the economic base. The economic base in this case can be the parents, who are earning, but you still have to have an economic base. Whatever that source of income that's going to fund your educational system. This is why on this channel we stress economics. We're not afraid to talk about money here. Having a education system built on partnerships. So Lion Voice would be a partner to a Rastafari school, and through that, we can donate content capture. We shoot their events. We put them out. We help as a funnel for people who want to donate to that school, that cause. So community partnerships is crucial. So we gotta do it. We will do it. We are here on the works, doing our part. That's all we can do. Everybody just do their part. Zion is everyone pursuing their purpose. At the same time, in the same place, you will have the manifestation of Zion, because everybody will be passionate. That doesn't mean there's not mistakes. That doesn't mean that it's perfect within a moment, because perfection is not a static place. Perfection is a liberty where it keeps getting better and better and better, because work is always being done. Failure is part of the process. We keep saying this. So we are marching. We are marching on to the victory. The Armageddon war is escalating. Whole heap of things are happening. We can cover that in some other episodes. But right now we're talking about the babies, the little youth them.
Well, Lion Voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion Voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion Voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion Voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion Voice. Them could never conquer the mountains. thousands of years and counting, Ethiopia rise again unto the world. Now we are announcing. Them a plan for war, we a plan for peace. And now we see them wanna go dismantle the base. When the trumpet sound and the violence cease, how we say one go build up the cities. Well, them a plan for war, we a plan for peace. And now we see them wanna go dismantle the base. Rastafari crown as the Prince of Peace. Him tell the youths them fi build up them countries. Well, solar energy that them a see. The whole city powered by the sun's energy. The road them make out of hemp and concrete. Neighborhoods full of fruit trees that taste sweet. The youths put down them guns, them harvest and a reap. The beautiful gardens will line every street. Tired of the bloodshed, them done with the beef. Not even animals for that, them burn out the meat. Where people say Haile Selassie, I see Nile. When they see say him a treat.
What do you have to tell the people about Ras Tafari?
Light to the world. The king of kings and the conquering line of the tribe of Judah. I left himself. Where's my ruler? Hey yo! Eli! Hear them high, hear the black king on the 23rd of July. So tell them guy who praise God up in the sky, it's a lie. The Almighty living on your night. From ancient time them a try. Them Romans know them just open them suit and ties. Criminals ain't got no alibi, they stole my people. Then them come without them genocide.
Are you talking about slavery?
Them couldn't kill. The lion will come conquer Judah tribe.
Who?
Go through tribulation, and I strive, see sufferation, and I still rise. That's why we tell them in America, live Rastafari in every ghetto area. We come if you tell them in a Toronto, straight at
Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Glory and honor in the name of His chosen Queen, EmpressMenen. My name is Kwasi Bansu, aka the Dejazmatch Kwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Pan-African Happy Man, creative industry attorney. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an actionist, and right now I am the host of Lion's Voice. Welcome to the Lion's Voice and welcome to the Lion Voice Network, where lions are telling our own story. Big up everyone, each and every one of the items who have made this growing community such a phenomenon in the history of Rastafari. We're just getting started. Big up to everyone who's watching now and those who will join us here in the future. Today's episode is about education. The item see, I'm wearing a Kwanzaa Land t-shirt. You would have seen I ran advertisements. My youth's school had a Kwanzaa presentation. My youths are part of a Pan-African homeschool collective, and you know what I mean, they did a magnificent Kwanzaa production, and as I watch, so proud, I have to contemplate about my own people, my Rastafari family. What are we doing for education? Because yes, Pan-African education is necessary, is powerful, and there should always be a Rastafari presence in these Pan-African spaces. However, each, specific, school of thought should also have schools of their own. For example, Igbo Israelite have them school, Kemet, people have them school, if it's Yoruba or it's, whatever. I see value in, these diverse Pan-African thought groups, you know, it could be a Khan, it could be whatever, the delineation that's teaching the history on a deep level. We need institutions that also do this as educational institution, because that leads to a deeper fabric, a mosaic of education across the continent that's only going to benefit us because we preserve these traditions. You know, people get to study them, the traditions get to evolve through study, and, you know, people putting forward different papers and schools of thought. This is what, you know, some of the value that educational institutions provide, and we need that within our community. Big up to the Soso Crew family, the school of, big up to the Soso Crew family. We postponed our episode yesterday so that we could facilitate the time of the joint Idor Soso Crew tribute to our elder Ras Iris. Tributes continue. You know, we're gonna continue to do things on this platform to highlight the life of the elder, one of my greatest teachers. For sure, big up the Soso Crew because they are on the path to establishing a Rastafari University. However, we know that we need a pre-K through high school institutions. Let me know in the comment if there are any Rastafari schools currently in existence that I don't know about. I don't pretend that I know every work that's happening around creation. I don't know of any. That doesn't mean they don't exist. So put down in the comments. I know Mirja and Pierja had a school. I don't know what the status in Benin of that school is. We lost our beloved Elder Mirja, so I don't know what the state of that school. But put in the comments if there are any Rastafari institutions I don't know, so we could even try reason with those ones and schedule some fullness. However, that being said, this episode we're gonna look at 4 things that we need to do. Well, I call it 5 things that we need to do to establish a Rastafari education system. These are the 5 things that we need to think about. You know, on the platform, it's a journey. So when we touch on these topics, we got to set out the framework, you know, in which to have the reasoning moving forward, and then, you know, we'll bring on guests, you know, we'll highlight works, and eventually, when we are resourced, you know, adequately, we're going to be investing financially in some of these projects and programs in exchange for the rights to be able to showcase the work. So that's also part of the vision, that we can grow the platform and at the same time grow the works globally, you know, and internationally, by highlighting. But this is going to be driven by the Lion Pride. So make sure that you support the platform. We'll talk about that later. So this episode, we're talking about Rastafari education. As with everything, we frame it through the teachings of His Imperial Majesty. He was a Minister of Education.
All right, so I'm going to read from the selected speeches, general education section. This speech is entitled "Hope for Education." It's actually an excerpt from a speech given November 2nd, 1948. So this would have been the same year Shashamane was granted, same year as the creation of the modern state of Israel, same year as many other significant world events. So this is the Hope for Education, but it's a definitive speech. That's why I chose this speech. As the item know on the Lion Voice Network, the teachings of His Majesty are the pillars of everything that we're building. So this says, Hope for Education. We will continue by speaking of our efforts in the development and extension of education in Ethiopia. As we informed you before, among Ethiopia's long-range programs is that embracing the youth We will continue by speaking of our efforts in the development and extension of education in Ethiopia. As we informed you before, among Ethiopia's long-range programs is that of embracing the youth of the empire. It is our constant solicitude that Ethiopia's youth be brought up and educated in order to render service to Ethiopia. In order to maintain her rightful place, Ethiopia's sole means is education, through which she will be able to assist herself, maintain her independence, take an active and important part in world affairs, and be a benefit both to herself and to others. We are satisfied with the efforts made and with the time spent in education of Ethiopia's youth. The present generation's thirst and earnest desire for education, as well as their easy adaptability to modern culture and training, and their spirit of progress encourage us to redouble our efforts toward the fulfillment of our aims. We have great pride in our people and equally in the future generations. We are able thus to wait, hopefully, for the young Ethiopian graduates from the universities of the world who will return home in the near future to do service to their country. November 2nd, 1948. So if we could replace Ethiopia with Rastafari in this speech, and you would see the impact. For example, if I said the first paragraph, I would say, we will continue by speaking of our efforts in the development and extension of education for Rastafari. As we informed you before, among Rastafari's long-range programs is that of embracing the youth of the empire. It is our constant solicitude that Rastafari youth be brought up and educated in order to render service to Rastafari. So, Ethiopia and Rastafari are one in the same. Ethiopia to Rastafari people means the entire African continent, encompassing also the 6th region, the diaspora. So what does this mean for us? What is the takeaway? Are we giving the priority to education that it deserves? I know so many Rastafari educators. This platform, we have interviewed the most Rastafari PhDs than any platform on the planet. Yet still, we are not in a position where we have physical educational institutions, curriculums, and these things. So just these are things that our thoughts as we build Zion, as we become part of the wider Pan-African community, there still remains the need to build from the core, meaning that diversity, each node or each aspect of that diversity has to strengthen itself from the core to make the coming together powerful. Give thanks.
As with everything, we frame it through the teachings of His Imperial Majesty. He was a Minister of Education, reserved that portfolio for himself after the coronation. This is how important Ethiopia invested a high amount of the GDP into education during the reign of His Majesty. I have it as the most extensive education program in the history of creation. I would wait to see somebody show an empire that scale in education so rapidly as Ethiopia during the reign of His Imperial Majesty. I don't think people know the full scope when we're talking about set the captives free. This is why sometimes we get a little bit bossy with the thing, because we know who Kadamawe Haile Selassie the first is, and we don't have no doubt, no fear. However, our job is to bring forth that story, that history, and again, we're going to do it through all mediums: animation, broadcasting, documentaries, everything. This platform, the Lion Voice Network, is powered, by the might of the Trinity. And I want to use this platform to demonstrate the power of Kadamawi Haile Selassie to our global family, because I don't think, well, let me say that we've never seen the full power harness. Big up Honorable Robert Nesta Marley, who was on his way to showing, within a musical format what can be done, staying true and harnessing that power. And we see the reward that the Honorable Robert Nesta Marley has received, um, everlasting legacy. So, but that is there, His Majesty have that as a source. So His Majesty have that for the engineer, for the architect. Anyone who want tap in is not just I. Anyone who want tap in can tap in and create these great legacy through Kadamawi Haile Selassie. It's an infinite well of power. And I want to use this to show within the independent, non-aligned media space what we can accomplish. So, again, I was inspired by Kwanzaa Land, and our company is going to be volunteering. We're going to be doing the editing for this collective of this great youth performance, and we're going to ensure that we support as the platform grows as well. We'll also be supporting Pan-African educational collectives and systems making contributions in whatever way. We're donating our services in the future. We'd love to be able to drop 10,000 on a independent Pan-African school, what I mean, where we know that it's going to be used to pay a teacher or to add some strength or to build a school in Africa with a Pan-African education or to build a Ras Tafari school. These are the works that are necessary, and we need one to step up to do it. And I go and step up and do it through the power of the Lion Pride. I'm not saying tomorrow. I'm not saying next year. I'm not saying the year after. I'm saying when the ability is there. The speed will be determined by the global Lion Pride. What I mean, and the attribution. And as I say that, let me just big up the Lion Pride. We are fast approaching 17,000. We slow down a little bit, We were doing 1,000 every strong. We slow down a little bit. We're still moving at a rapid pace. So big up every Lion Pride. If you subscribe, you are part of the Lion Pride. And we really are looking forward to hitting that 20,000 mark very shortly. It's been a journey, and big up the Lion Pride on Patreon, the economic engine. We have 26 fire angels in the Lion Pride on Patreon. We were trying to get to 100 by January. Right now, we're only a quarter of the way there, family. We still have about, a strong and a little bit to go. It looked very sticky, but I never. If failure is the outcome, because it's looking like we're approaching failure, we have to be realistic. But if failure is the outcome, I want to show the Lion Pride how we fail over here on the Lion Pride. Some thump and some kick. We're gonna drop some episode. We're gonna turn up the gas in terms of the content in the next couple strong. Finish the year strongly. In the new year, we're going to be bringing forward more big interviews, a lot more content from brethren and sisters on the continent. Repatriation continent, we're going to be moving. We have some trips scheduled for next year that we'll be announcing. So everything is just going to reach a next level. So failure doesn't mean that we feel sorry for ourselves. Failure doesn't mean that we weep. No, failure means it's time to reflect, refine, come again. What I mean? Because we do have 26, and we give thanks for those who see the vision and remain with I, strong after strong, strong after strong, month after month, quietly, just supporting the platform. Don't take any of the item for granted. The item are real champions when it come on to this platform. And we need company. So 74 ones we're looking in the next couple strong, see who can yard in and join the Lion Pride on Patreon for the price of a cup of coffee. You know, you used to wake up yourself. You know, let us help wake up and shake up creation with the power of Rastafari, um, you know, content and Pan-African content. Big up I Never Knew TV, who came forward to help to capture the Kwanzaa Land video. Brethren, you know what I mean, phone call away, I really give thanks, you know. A lot of people talk collective security, but chosen few implemented. So big up Junior. I Never Knew TV family came through, did an interview with the principal of the homeschool collective that I my children attend. That's gonna come on I Never Knew TV. Mighty, mighty, mighty. But yes, we are here trying to just rally the Lion Pride for this last little part of the year, so we can get as close to 100 or exceed 100. That would be can you imagine the momentum? We coming at the new year with 100 people on Patreon in the Roman New Year. You can imagine how them would have feel on a Vatican City. Step on them. So please let us. I know, you know what I mean, the financial it's rough, but just do our best. I'm talking to my core audience right now. I know, you know, the rest of the item will come in time, but I'm talking to the core. Watch all of the content now, leave I out. Send I the comments about what this platform means to the item. I'm talking to the item. Make we just step up with that $5-10 a month and make this thing what it needs to be, which is mighty. All right. Big up the Ubuntu Lion Pride. Welcome in the Myers family, the Brethren Bingishan, latest addition to the Ubuntu Lion Pride. Representing for the Myers family, the entire family. These are family women know over 20 years. And I give thanks. I know many of I, and I know, you know, because it's been a long time Bingishan say I'm gonna support the I. So I don't even worry about, you know, my bona fide brethren them across the world, because I know when they're coming, they're coming strong, and the Myers family came in strong. I don't disclose the amount for the Ubuntu Lion Pride. Just know that it's over $50 US to get into the Ubuntu Lion Pride. It's a one-time contribution, although you can continue to give and give. Once you're part of the Ubuntu, you just, you know, you're solidified as, you know, someone who take the thing serious. So up until January 1st, it's $50. After January 1st, it'll be $70 to be a part of the Ubuntu Lion Pride. So great opportunity for families to show their support, for small businesses. You have any little branding or any entity that you want to, you know, show that it's associated with the fastest growing Rastafari platform on the planet. Ubuntu is a good, you know, you can't beat that value. You know, you're getting your brand in front of. We did 30,000 views the last 28 days plus. You know what I mean? So 30,000 plus people would have seen, you know, that you're a member of the Ubuntu Lion Pride, mighty. And then also, we are, we just crossed, and also we just crossed 25,000 watch hours for the life of the channel. So you can imagine how many hours people sit down and watch this content. This is a great responsibility, humbling, family. And you see me sipping up, you know, I'm sipping sea moss life, greatest sea moss drink on the planet. I say that. All right, so big up the Action Lion Pride. Action Lion Pride. You may not have the funds, but you like, you comment, you share, boosts the algorithm, send it out there. I love it. The item love it. we're working together, we're growing together. It's a mighty combination. And then we have to big up the Watch and Peep. As I said, over 30,000 views in the last 28 days. So that's, almost double the amount of subscribers that we have. So that shows you a lot more people watch than actually subscribe. However, we love the item. The watchers within the Lion Pride, those who are subscribed, who watch, who don't comment, don't like, don't share, we still love the item. Necessary, you know what I mean? And then we hope you evolve into either Lion Pride on Patreon, either Ubuntu Lion Pride. We have some big up Nick Nakus. Nick Nakus became our first Lion Pride member, who's a member of both the Ubuntu Lion Pride and the Lion Pride on Patreon. And I forgot to also say Lion Pride on Patreon also get access when we drop the Lion Talk interviews. They get the full episode right away. We usually release it in clips. Lion Pride on Patreon, and then we also have exclusive content. Purpose over that something that the instructional videos, to help you to level up your thing as a young Ras, as a young Pan-African man. Exclusive content that lives in the Patreon as well. So we have that there. So big up all of the Lion Pride, all of the family. It takes a village to build a child, to raise a child, and this Lion Voice Network right now is a child. I can't call it a small platform anymore. My brethren tell me don't bother with that. But it's still a child in terms of the growth and where it's going. Less than 5 years old. So it takes a village. So we're cultivating the village, and I love how the village is growing. So big up all of the Lion Pride. Big up Ras LIDJ, Ramia King Design. You don't know. Your tumbler, you get your sip and them thing there. Right. So big up Ras LIDJ. So, alright, let's get into the topic. Alright, so the topic is 5 things that we need for establishing a Rastafari education. What we need, number one is economic base, and I'm gonna add that there. It's understood that all of these things we have to follow the teachings, we have to acknowledge the divinity, that comes as a given. So the spiritual part I'm not including in this list of 5 things. These are the practical things that we have to do to establish this education. But this would be premised on having Haile Selassie the first EmpressMenen as the focal point in terms of the pedagogy, and we'll explain what that means shortly. So number 1 is the establishment of the economic base. The economic base in this case can be the parents, who are earning, but you still have to have an economic base. Whatever that source of income that's going to fund your educational system. This is why on this channel we stress economics. We're not afraid to talk about money here. We're going to bring in a brethren to talk about money and financial planning, and in the new year we're going to touch a lot of things, family. This is not something where we're trying to please people. This is a thing where we're bringing the content to heal, to rise up the nation, to make a difference, because we live it, so we know what we need, because these are the things that I and I need, same way that I and I have to break the chain, the generational curses and these things to become bigger than we've been. So economics, number 1, we need a collective economic base. And again, that can be the parents, but each of those parents need to be earning, or the households need to be earning so that they can fund the education system. We cannot depend on external entities to fund our liberation. No one is coming to save us. How much time do I have to tell the item that? I know it hurts. I know we don't like to hear that, and we're waiting on UN, and we're waiting on the government, and the this and the that, which all will come. And I say it now come, but it's not gonna come until we ourselves are breaking the chain. That is when you see the doors open. When you no longer need them, is when they will become the most helpful. That's just a law of humanity, unfortunately. So we have to do for self, so that we have leverage at the negotiation table. So that economic base is number one. Number two is the creation of a Rastafari curriculum. There's been a lot of reasoning. This is something that we even started to tackle within the Association of Rastafari Creatives when we had the education committee. And big up the Association of Rastafari Creative Summer Camp that took place. Rastafari youths from across the earth came together virtually. Revolutionary. So big up ARC for not just talking but starting to tackle this. And I think a lot of these solutions have to come from our creatives. And remember, a lot of us in Rastafari are creatives. So it makes sense if the creatives lead the way on this, and we create institutions like a Rastafari version of Juilliard, which is a performing arts school in New York, Rastafari Duke Ellington, which is a performing arts high school in Washington, D.C. These are world-renowned schools that pump out. Dave Chappelle went to Duke Ellington. You have, so much people, Alicia Keys, all kind of people went to Juilliard. These are Fame, if you remember the sitcom, the drama Fame, that was a performing arts school, show you, all of these things. So, these are institutions we need for Rastafari, training our artists, our managers, our this, our that, architects, engineers, all of these things, farmers, coming out of these institutions, thinking creatively. So, number two would be the creation of a Rastafari curriculum. If there are any that exist, drop them in the comments. Let me know who the creators are so that we can interview them. I know a couple of the sisters here are working on them. I don't know if any have been finished. Big up to Dr. Jazanai Kush. And we're going to be bringing her forward as well to reason. It's almost time again for the EmpressMenen retreat, I treat. So we're going to be bringing her forward. So, but curriculum, number one, we have to have a Rastafari curriculum with a Rastafari focus. You know what I mean? Focusing on making global connections. So connecting our Rastafari youths here with, big up the Ras Cup. I just did a video for the Rastafari summer camp now taking place in South Africa, youth summer camp. We send greetings from the Lion Voice Network. So big up Queen Mother Moses, Sister Mimi, all of the ones them who have been dealing with that in South Africa, the summer camp. But those youths should be connected with other Rastafari youths and all over. And we're setting up global business and trade from these youths who know each other from a young age. So that should be part of our curriculum. Language and literature. We should be learning multiple African languages in our schools. I sent my youth to a Spanish immersion school. I took them out. They started in Pan African school. We took them out for a while, had them in a Spanish immersion school. Then COVID came, and the thing get funny. We put them forward in the Pan African school. But we should have Rastafari schools that are teaching Amharic, that are teaching, Tree, some South African language, Yoruba. I always love African people because they speak multiple languages. You'll never meet an African that speak only one or two language. Most of them speak at least three languages. So that's part of our African culture and identity, and that's something that should be in our education curriculum. Also, literature. I am the reading Ras, and we should have um, special books. Of course, we would want Haile Selassie's Ethiopia. Rise of the Priestly Kings to be a part of that curriculum. But there's so many other books that we should be exposing our youths to, so they have that depth of knowledge and learning. And then finally, the STEM. I have some interviews I'll be sharing in the new year. We have Rastafari mathematicians. We had a fascinating reason Rastafari brethren who dealing with math tutoring, enough different things. That interview is coming up. Ras Pizzle, big up yourself. Can't wait to share that with the family. But we're also going to be bringing in some engineers, civil, structural engineers on the platform so that the item can, we have some heavy duty Rastafari engineers. So STEM is architects, them kind of brethren we're going to be bringing on in the new year. STEM, pushing our youth them toward science, technology, engineering, and math. And then sometimes they add the arts and make it STEAM, but STEM have to be a pillar in whatever curriculum that we are creating because we're in a building phase, the building of Zion. We need houses, we need bridges, we need sanitation systems, we need compost, large scale composting, soil, nutrition, all of these things, you know what I mean? So STEM is crucial as the second aspect, which is under curriculum, we need to be creating. So I'm sending out this song, and the beautiful thing. Let me say this: the beautiful thing is everything I'm talking about exists already. There are ones within Rastafari that's doing everything that I'm going to talk about. It's just about connecting the dots and then plugging in the financing so that it's sustainable. So let's keep that in mind. We will live to see all of this that we're talking about. All right, number 3 is pedagogy. And pedagogy means the method and practice of teaching. So how do we teach? We have to agree on a pedagogy for Rastafari education. One is that it's culturally responsive, taking into consideration all of the different houses and mansion, the different thoughts within Rastafari, so that it's, so that one has a full understanding, the youth have full understanding of the broad range that fall under the umbrella of Rastafari. There has to be a level of community engagement built into the way we teach. We're African people, our thing is not independent or solo. One of the things, and big up Baba Kwal, of the Wilson Baker collective, homeschool collective. Um, he's shepherding that effort. We'll have him on this platform at some point. He said, once you're homeschooling and your youth not interacting with other youths or peers, that's no longer Pan-African education because African is by definition communal, heavy stuff. So that has to be built into what we're doing, that community engagement, the experimental learning, touch, tactile learning out in the field, actually doing. So the beautiful thing about the building of Zion is that your schools now become part of your free labor because you bring the youth them on the farms. They're helping to till the soil to learn about this. You can bring them out during harvest time and they get to, what I mean? So there's innovative ways that you can integrate the youth them into learning essential skills while also providing that low cost labor that that we're going to need to really get production to a level. Integrating the youth through all parts so that they know they come out with valuable skills. There's no better way to teach than by doing. And so that experimental learning have to be there. Field trips, inter-Africa, if we have schools on the continent, the Ethiopian Rastafari schools, to visit them schools in South Africa and Malawi and then Ghana, and they're in Burkina Faso and Togo. And if they're in America, they're traveling to Africa, they're going to Ghana, they're going to Senegal, they're going, they're climbing the statue in the car, the Liberty statue. You know what I mean? There's all kind of different experiences that the youth never get. That's experiential learning. This is part of the pedagogy that have to be built into a thing. And of course, teaching critical thinking. You know what I mean? Not a yes man. Boy, yeah. We are not a yes man culture. Anytime you have too much people just a yes man around you, you're in a dangerous place. You know what I mean? I love reasoning because I love learning new things. You know what I mean? I'm not always right. And when you reason to be right, you are reasoning, you're immature. You know what I mean? You reason to gain overstanding. You know what I mean? Until, yes, you can defend a cause, you know what I mean, with facts and sources and these things. And we should. But remember, there's so much people who have taken time and gone deeper. And by keeping an open mind, you you're gonna find out how fast you grow. You know what I mean? And that has served I all of I'm on life. So um, definitely, the critical thinking and being able to formulate your own thoughts, that's gonna create stronger youths within Rastafari and help them take it to another level. Um, so number four is teacher training. A system of teacher training, ensuring that the teachers have a certain level of cultural competency. They're used to dealing with Rastafari youths. Their cultural pedagogy is up to par, and there's ongoing professional development for the Rastafari teachers, that we're investing in our teachers. Teachers are some of the most low paid people. It's hard to be excited about what you're doing if you can't pay your bills. You know what I mean? That's naturally going to come across with the youth. That we want teachers that are comfortable. This is why I started with the economic base, the creation of the economic base. I said it could be the parents, but the parents have to be well income, well resourced parents. It starts there. So we have to, this is why in everything that we talk about here, you're going to hear us talk about money. We're not afraid of the money talk here because it's needed, and we're not doing ourselves any service, keeping our money, our little pennies that we're trying, and we just pay to bill collectors. We have to siphon off some of that money to the collective so that we can build, and then we build that well, we can dash with the bill collectors. But by just trying to siphon, and I'm not gonna invest in my community, I just gonna take the little money we may have and try pay the bills, and that is a hamster wheel. Take some of that, siphon off a $5, $10 and give to Lion Voice, give to I Just Star, give to Honorable Priest Silas, give it to Honorable Priest Kailash, give it to Muta Baruka, give it to whoever in the Rastafari media, Rastafari TV, there's so many, but we have to start thinking this way, in order to liberate, or we're not going to have anything great. If we don't invest in it, then yes, they will be there, but until we get to the level with our entities where we can employ staff and, you know, have operations that are profitable and running, and you're not going to get to see the greatness that we are capable of. And it's possible, just like in this internet age with scale, if you have 17, if I had every subscriber giving $10 a month, you can imagine, that's a massive amount of a resource coming in every month, you know what I mean? And for each of those 17,000, they barely feel that $10 leaving their pocket, you know what I mean? So that's the concept of crowdfunding, and the potential of what we can achieve. Even though we may not individually have a lot of money, we can create, and then having an entity like Lion Voice that could come in and support, sponsor, help to build, and then capture, the creation of what we're building and show it to the same audience. You know what I mean? It's tremendous. in terms of what we can achieve together and what we will achieve, because that's the vision and we're actually executing the vision. I'm just trying to speed it up with all of these reasonings. But that is the key, teacher training. And then number 5 is the community building. Same thing that I'm talking about is, you know, having a education system built on partnership. So Lion Voice would be a partner to a Rastafari school. And through that, you know, we can donate content capture. We shoot their events. You know, we put them out. We help as a funnel for people who want to donate to that school, that cause. So community partnerships is crucial. Um, you know, with different places, not even just platforms like mine, but you have community centers, you have educational institutions that are outside, like, for example, you might have a zoo or something, conservation facility or a working farm that you partner with as a school, and the school goes, and again, that's what I'm talking about, the low cost labor. Maybe that entity couldn't pay all of these people to harvest, but during the harvest season, they have field trips where students come and students are helping to pick. They get a training in the morning and then they pick in during the afternoon and whatever, you know what I mean? Or however it's structured, but community partnerships, community building, we can build a community while we educate our youth. Student exchange programs, again, sending the youth from Jamaica to South Africa to the Ras Cup, sending the youth from South Africa to Ethiopia, sending the youth from Ethiopia to Ghana, to spend time at the Kazi. All these things can happen, will happen. Again, it's up to us. How quickly do we want them to happen? How do we believe in ourselves? Do we love ourselves enough to invest in ourselves? These are the questions. And of course, creation of Pan-African events. So the schools, the Rastafari track meet, Rastafari this, that, all the schools compete against each other. Greatest sea mastering on the planet. Compete against each other. All of the races, essay contests, songwriting contests. There's so much we can do to foster that, rivalry and team scholarship and camaraderie. Similar to what they have in Jamaica with the high schools. If you go KC, you go JC, and become a whole thing your whole life of pride, and you support the school. Likewise, in America with the HBCUs, we have the Howard Hampton debate, who's the real HU, and it's a fun vibration, give people identity. But different events, you have people come out with their colors and things. So we can create all of that within Rastafari. But again, the question is, how much do we value education? I'm bringing forward all of these things as we talk about the building of Zion. The building of Zion cannot be done without us creating that Rastafari education system as part of the larger Pan-African family. So we gotta do it. We will do it. We are here on the works, doing our part. That's all we can do. Everybody just do their part. Zion is everyone pursuing their purpose. At the same time, in the same place, you will have the manifestation of Zion, because everybody will be passionate. That doesn't mean there's not mistakes. That doesn't mean that it's perfect within a moment, because perfection is not a static place. Perfection is a liberty where it keeps getting better and better and better, because work is always being done. Failure is part of the process. We keep saying this. So we are marching. We are marching on to the victory. The Armageddon war is escalating. whole heap of things are happening. We can cover that in some other episodes. But right now we're talking about the babies, the little youth them. Congratulations to the Baobab Tree Foundation, to Wilson Baker for congratulations to the Baobab Tree Foundation, to Wilson Baker for such a powerful Kwanzaa celebration, for really making I see the potential of what we can achieve as black people when we come together for our children. And I want to see the same for my Rastafari global family. So tell me your thoughts. What did I miss? I have so many educators who watch the Lion Voice, Rastafari educators. We've had the most PhDs than any platform on the planet. Drop some comments, some of my educator watchers. What do we need? What are we missing? How can we pull this together? Even if we start virtually, big up the Sosa crew who have been doing virtual events on their path to a Rastafari University. But now pre-K to 8, where's the equivalent to Sosa crew, that collective starting to frame out this Rastafari education? Drop the comments. Let's talk about it. The Association of Rastafari Creatives is there as a vehicle. We have them. We can do this, family. Why? Because the time has come for the Lions to tell our own story. And this is the Lion's Voice.
Lion voice. Them could never conquer the mountains. Thousands of years and counting. Ethiopia rise again unto the world. Now we are announcing. Them a plan for war, we a plan for peace. And now we see them wanna go dismantle the base. When the trumpet sound and the violence cease, how we say one go build up the cities. Well, them a plan for war, we a plan for peace. And now we see them wanna go dismantle the base. Rastafari crown as the Prince of Peace. Him tell the youths them fi build up them countries. Well, solar energy that them a see. The whole city powered by the sun's energy. The road them make out of hemp and concrete. Neighborhoods full of fruit trees that taste sweet. The youths put down them guns, them harvest and a reap. The beautiful gardens will line every street. Tired of the bloodshed, them done with the beef. Not even animals for dead, them burn out the meat. Where people say Haile Selassie, I see Nile. When they see say him a treat the dirt like a child. Peace on earth from the banks of the Nile. That's why we giving thanks in style. See say Babylon a weapon, them a stockpile. Babylon a wicked, kill them brother and smile. Lion, Babylon a reptile. Them a plant fish, shed blood, we got plans for the soil. Them a plan for war, we a plan for peace. And now we see them wanna go dismantle the base. When the trumpet sound and the violence cease, how we say one go build up the cities. Well, them a plan for war, we a plan for peace. And now we see them wanna go dismantle the base. Rastafari crown as the Prince of Peace. Him tell the youths them fi build up them countries. No more gullies, proper sanitation. Proper toilets with proper filtration. Clean water for the youths them fi use. Our sons and daughters safe, no more child abuse. Africa arise, read it in the news. On the day when Rastafari ready, wicked have fi move.